Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So in this video I'm going to tackle the second point that I wanted to talk about. It really is independent to the first point, however it does revolve around summoning. Some of you might have thought, you know what Hayzink, you could have done this all in the one video. Newsflash guys, 25-minute videos do not work, right? They don't work. Unfortunately, YouTube has shown me the statistics, and if I do long videos like that, you guys don't watch them, so I have to break them up into smaller, more digestible pieces, which for me is 8 to 12 minutes, which to you guys is probably still long because these days people have the attention span of goldfish. Not saying you, but it seems to be the thing. People want short, digestible content, and that's just not me, right? So you'll get 8 to 10 minutes and you'll like it and you'll be happy, okay? So anyway, on this one I'm going to talk about something that I do kind of talk about in the podcast, but not to the extent I'm going to talk about it just now, okay? So as you guys know, I've started, but between us, we've started a podcast and we are going to put out our first episode. I've got to edit all the videos because I came up with a really complicated way of doing it so that you guys have a higher level of quality. And I've also said that I'll edit it as well, because in that way I know that the quality is going to be where I want it to be. So if I screw it up and it's terrible, you can blame me. But if it's great, you can also say, well done Hayzink, good editing, I like that, thanks. But anyway, so you'll know that the three people who are in that podcast is myself, Payne and Mark, right? And Mark, obviously today, done a bit of summoning and he got himself a copy of Dante. Now he's put a video out talking about it. I'm not going to address what he said because really he's only the kind of catalyst that allows me to talk about this, right? So Mark done the summon and I noticed, I said to him, I went, look, you're going to get hate for this. And he thought, well, why would I? I started my account off as a whale account. Yeah, okay, I've been putting out I enjoy playing my free-to-play account and stuff like that, but I've never really said that I'm never going to spend on the game again. And I says, I know, but you're still going to get hate, right? And he got hate, right? Which was very unfair. Just let me point that out. My point of view on that is, it's very unfair because Mark plays the game, it's his game, he does what he wants, and really he's not answerable to anyone. He gives up his time to make content. If you guys enjoy the content, you watch it, but realistically speaking, as content creators, while we owe viewers a certain degree of thanks for watching our content, we're not beholden to our viewers. You don't set standards that we have to live up to or anything like that, right? So what I was saying to Mark was, well, I actually think people have kind of taken it upon themselves to think that because we're doing these free-to-play showcase type videos that we are now the voice of the free-to-play player, which to a certain degree we stand up for what we think is anti-free-to-play or anti-player moves within the game. But at no point has anyone, apart from one person, said they were going to go full free-to-play. And the thing that I was kind of discussing today was, and I said this to Payne as well, I think what's actually seemed to have happened along the way is Payne made a statement that he was no longer going to spend, he was going completely free-to-play. And somehow that narrative has changed that we were all doing that. Now, I don't spend on the game anymore. Mark doesn't really, I don't believe. I think today was just a unit he wanted. It's one of his favourite IPs and he decided, you know what, I want the unit, fair enough. So he summoned the unit, right? Now, what I want to say to you guys is maybe controversial, maybe you won't like it. Do you know what, I'm just keeping it real, I'm just telling you what I think, you know? Content creators are kind of, how do I put this? Something that you should view in two ways, okay? I learned this really early on from The Truth, right? If any of you guys watch Dokkan Battle content, I used to work for a group called 5-9 Gaming, and I used to do a lot of dealings with the likes of Garesh and Truth and stuff like that, and great guys, used to talk to them quite a lot. And you'll probably know if you watch that content, those guys are probably what you would class as big whales. I mean, Garesh used to be, I'm not sure if he still is, but obviously Truth is the mega whale on YouTube of Dokkan, right? But his philosophy has always been, I'm I don't want you guys to be like me. In fact, I'll tell you guys quite openly, do not do what I do, but you can watch my content and live vicariously through me by watching someone being an absolute moron and summoning to like massive levels where I'm spending thousands upon thousands. He's not setting the example that that's what you should do, but he isn't what I would say practicing what he preaches, right? So he's telling you guys not to summon, but he's summoning. So I can understand where the confusion comes from there, right? But I think there has to be a line that people understand sometimes, that as content creators for our channels, we do things that we probably advise you not to do, right? And there's a few reasons for that hopefully a lot of you understand, which one is viewers. You need content, right? And in these games it's quite difficult to have content, and to push out content sometimes you need things like niche characters that maybe people don't always have, because then you can do like a series of videos of how does this character do in this event, or will this character beat this, or can this character solo this, you know that type of thing, right? So when we summon for units, we don't necessarily do it because we see that unit as being viable, that unit as being good. Sometimes we do it for pure content, like, because these games are difficult to make content for, right? Sometimes we do it because we're addicted to pressing summoning buttons in these games and use YouTube as an excuse to do it, I suppose. But at the same time, when you make content on YouTube, you make ad revenue, and that ad revenue can offset what you've spent on the game. So basically, as a content creator, you can entertain the people watch your content, that then funds your summons. It's a big circle where, although you look like a whale, technically you are, how do I put this, YouTube sponsored free to play, right? I've always made the joke, going back to Truth again, for example. People talk about, oh, Truth spends this, he summons that. But if you look at the amount of views he gets on all of these videos, he probably makes more in ad revenue than he spends summoning. So I've always made the joke that he is the most prolific free-to-play player in the Dokkan community, because if his summons are not being funded from his own pocket, then is it really whaling in the traditional sense, you know? It's done for entertainment purposes. So I don't really think you guys who are doing it should try and rag on someone like Mark for his summoning. If I decided to summon again, doing it to me, even Payne, right? I've seen all the hate, right? Because he made a comment about, I'm going to quit if this happens. Although there was a lot of caveats, just to be clear, there was a lot of caveats. And to be fair, his caveats were met, so he didn't need to quit the game. But there seemed to be this, I want to say, drive to hold him accountable. You said you would quit, I'm going to make you quit. Why? I mean, why? Because at the end of the day, even if you make a statement, you're entitled to go back on that. Even if the game did not live up to expectations, if you're enjoying the game, you're allowed to change your mind, right? So there's been this big focus on trying to make him quit, trying to make Mark feel bad. I don't see the point, honestly. Like, looking at the comments on that video today of the summons, it's like people commenting things like, oh my god, I'm actually in like gambling addiction playing out in front of my face. It feels really bad, and I don't like watching it. And it's like, you're really low-key just trying to make the guy feel bad about things, you know? And if he's comfortable with what he's doing, if he's got the disposable income and that's what he wants to do, and he wants to grow his platform, I think people should just leave him alone, you know? And just in general, content creators, I feel like if you have content creators who are willing to speak up for the free-to-play, who are willing to speak up for the player base in general, who are willing to say, you know what, this sucks, this needs to be better. Okay, you might argue them dropping money on a game, they are, how do I put this, rewarding the devs. But at the end of the day, they're not doing it for the devs, they're doing it for themselves. We're doing it to grow our platforms, we're doing it to, I hope, entertain you guys, you know? I just feel like people really need to stop holding other people accountable for their wants and their needs, if that makes sense, right? Again, I don't think anyone covering this game right now is selfish or kind of going out their way to stop you getting units or anything like that, you know, like saying don't summon and then they summon, so you get it into your head that, yeah, you just want that unit, you don't want us to have it. I can't really think of the logic why anyone would think that, but there must be a reason why people say these things, you know. I think people just really need to understand that ultimately what it comes down to is content creation at the end of the day, you know. It's about trying to find new ways to make content, it's about trying new things, because guys, let's be honest here, how long is it going to be before you guys get sick of seeing, oh, I bet this with my free-to-play account, or oh, I bet this with, I don't even know, this re-rolled account that I rolled in a new server, you know, that's going to become stale and you're not going to want to see it. You're going to be more interested in, oh, how's that character? I never got that character, you know, if that character ever comes back in a rerun and I've saved up my tickets, I would maybe want to summon that character because I've now seen XYZ showing me how good that character can actually be when they're in the right team comp, when they're used in the right way, when they've got the right gear. That's the type of thing that's going to benefit you as a viewer more than, oh, this person's beaten this stage, I bet, 4 weeks ago, you know. It's going to get stale, so allow people to make the content they want to make. You might think I've just had a big massive waffle, which maybe I have, right? Maybe I have. But at the end of the day, I just felt kind of bad seeing that because Mark's a good dude, Payne's a good dude, everyone's a good dude, and it just wasn't nice to see people kind of ragging on him, although I fully expected that, to be fair. It just wasn't nice to see, you know. Nice guy, let him have fun, let him realise how poor his decision was to summon that many Dantes. But ultimately I just think that people need to kind of chill a wee bit and let people do what they want to do, you know. If they're still willing to stand up for you, if they're still willing to call out the developers for the bad decisions they make and stuff, you still have a voice, you still have someone looking out for you in the community. Just don't rag on them, don't make them feel worse than they maybe already do. But anyway, that's it. My rant is over. I'm Hayzink. I've probably upset some people because, you know what, you can't see anything in the internet without upsetting people. And I'm good at that, I'm really good at that. But yeah, anyway, make sure you check out the podcast. I'll give you a little spoiler. Maybe Payne and Mark will be upset at me for this. I'll tell you the name. In fact, I won't tell you the name. I'll see if you can guess the name, right? I'll give you a hint. There's the hint. See if you can guess the name, right? So, that's the hint. First person that actually posts the correct name of the podcast in the comments, I'll give you a cookie, right? Anyway, catch you in the next one. Peace. Hadouken!